What's going on, Ravens fans? Welcome into the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. My name is Joey Peterson. If you missed it, Isaiah Likely joined the K. Adams Show today, and he had a lot to say about his future in free agency, his very unlikely future with the Baltimore Ravens, and he actually said something very, very interesting about this new coaching staff. You got to stick around to hear everything from number 80. It's going to be pretty upsetting. Okay, I can promise you that. And I want to ask you this question with 2020 hindsight. If you had to pick one of these two guys to be your tight end in 2026, who would you choose? Would you choose Mark Andrews or would you choose Isaiah Likely? Do you basically like the decision that the Ravens have made, sticking with 89, or do you wish they would have extended Isaiah Likely back in the season and he was your tight end one going forward? Let me know by typing those MAs or ILs in the comment section down below. Answer our pinned comment. So after this interview, I believe that Isaiah Likely is as good as gone. Kay Adams even asked him if there was a possibility of a return to Baltimore, and he very kindly answered that question, but I really don't think it was anything to hold your hat on. He said the door is always open for Baltimore, only because that's family. They took a chance on me when all 31 teams passed during the 2022 NFL draft. So he said that, and you're kind of like, oh, sweet, well, maybe he'll take a hometown discount to stay if he's so thankful for the Baltimore Ravens for selecting him back in 2022. And then he said that he's only talked to the position coach at the Ravens and that he has not talked to anyone else when they've brought in a new head coach and a new offensive coordinator in Declan Dorr. Isaiah Likely said he hasn't talked to either of those guys. That tells me everything I need to hear. If Baltimore had any desire whatsoever, whether it was like a 5% inkling to keep him in Baltimore, they would have had discussions with him already with their new head coach and with their new offensive coordinator, but they didn't. Likely is gone, okay? And we've kind of known this was going to happen ever since randomly, out of thin air, the Baltimore Ravens decided to extend Mark Andrews. Mike Garafolo was the one who reported it in early December, 3-year, $39.3 million deal. We went in to 2025, that season, knowing only one of these guys was going to be back in 2026, and it was may the best man win. And apparently, this Ravens front office thought it was Mark Andrews. And honestly, like as much as I like Isaiah Likely, as much as I love his fit, and as much as I want to see him in a Declan Doyle offense and to keep seeing him be a Baltimore Raven, he had his shot to take this last season by the horns, take control of it, and steal that tight end one spot from Mark Andrews. But we also got to be honest with each other and honest with ourselves. He didn't do that. Okay? Plain and simple. 27 catches to 307 yards, 11.4 average, 1 touchdown. Mark Andrews had more catches, more yards, and more touchdowns, just like he had last year as well. So sure, Isaiah Likely would be awesome to stay if he took a massive, massive pay cut. But he's projected right now on the open market to get $14 million a year. And frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I want to pay that for a guy who caught 27 balls last year. That's like $500,000 a catch. Now, that doesn't mean I'm happy with the contract that they gave Mark Andrews, because I'm not really. The bright side of things is the compensatory draft pick you're most likely going to get for Isaiah Likely is a 5th, maybe even a late 4th if you're lucky. But regardless, everything I heard today, everything he told Kay Adams, everything, even the things he didn't say, right? It was pretty obvious to me that Isaiah Likely will be playing football somewhere else in 2026. And hey, if he can get a bag, good for him. Go let him get his bag. Do you want a miracle to happen? And somehow he ends up with the Ravens still in 2026? Do me a big favor. Hit that thumbs up button and like today's video. We got more to discuss. Latest news and rumors evolving in this scape of getting close to free agency. Don't go anywhere. But real quick, a word from our sponsor. Before we continue on with the video, here's what I'm looking to trade on PolyMarket. For tonight's Knicks game, PolyMarket is giving New York a 39% chance to win against Oklahoma City, which is wild. The value there is way too good. The Thunder have multiple players banged up with injuries, while the Knicks just put belt to the Spurs on Sunday, carrying in some momentum. For those reasons, I am taking New York at 39% to win this game. $100 wins you $256 if New York takes the dub. Plus, with PolyMarket, you can trade in and out on momentum shifts without getting blocked or penalized. With in-game trading, once the Knicks get up, I can either ride it all the way out or I could sell early. For example, if you buy at 39% and sell at just 60%, you can snag a cool $154 payout. I'm keeping an eye on the fourth quarter, where the Knicks have won by a decisive 9 points or more in their last 2 games. You can't do this with a traditional sportsbook, so get started today. PolyMarket is legal in all 50 states. Download the app now to get to the top of the wait list. The only way to do that is by clicking my link in the description and comments. All right, let's go around the National Football League as we round out today's video. Latest news and rumors. The closer we get to NFL free agency starting on Monday, the more these news and rumors will be flying around all teams in the NFL. Apparently, there is a new price for center Tyler Linderbaum. Kevin Ostreicher was repurposing a report from Albert Breer that apparently Ravens center Tyler Linderbaum and his agent are aiming for $25 million a season. Now, Albert Breer also believes that Linderbaum really isn't going to get there. And I would be shocked if he did as well. The highest paid center right now is Creed Humphrey at $8 million. You're telling me that he's going to get a raise of $7 million a year and reset the center market that much? I don't think it happens. That would be what, like a 33% increase, maybe even a little bit more than that, like 38%, somewhere in that realm. And I just think that no team in their right mind is going to do that. Now, I do believe he's going to get 22, okay, but I think that's where he caps out. Now, there's good news and bad news with that. The good news is you get a good comp pick out of that. You get as high as you can with a third-round pick. The bad news is you lose Tyler Linderbaum, who is a centerpiece of your offensive line and a really, really good player and consistent at that center spot. Aaron Rodgers, because if there's one thing Aaron Rodgers is good at, is making everything about himself, including the time right before NFL free agency. He went on the Pat McAfee show today. A lot of people, my coworker Jack Sperry included, thought that there was a chance he could announce whether or not he was returning to the Steelers or to the National Football League in 2026. He made no such commitment. He actually said, I want to say that anybody on here who's expecting me to make a big decision, turn it off now. Now, he did mention that he's doing his best to stay fit for reasons that don't have to do much with football. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up on social media or online. But, again, right now we still don't know anything about Aaron Rodgers. Don't know whether or not he's back with the Steelers in 2026. Obviously, I think our hopes is that he's not going to. He beat the Ravens twice last year, and while I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the one that beat you, I think it's more your defense was not great, and honestly, your offense in that first game and the last of the regular season did not perform to the best of their abilities. But he's a better option than what they've got, right? Like, if they don't get Aaron Rodgers back, the word on the street is Mike McCarthy's going to run with Will Howard for the 2026 season, and I would love to see that happen. In fact, I hope and pray every single night that that's the fate of the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2026. Last up, another edge trade target emerges, Kayvon Thibodeaux, a guy who we've actually discussed a decent bit on this channel over what seems like the last year or so. We did get a report from Connor Hughes, a NFL insider, covers the New York Giants and the Jets, that says the Giants are, quote, actively exploring trade options, and then that trade price would be around a fourth-round pick, which, ladies and gentlemen, I would do that in an instant. Okay, I would do that in a heartbeat. Kayvon Thibodeaux, still incredibly young. Obviously, he's got the injury problems, but we've seen him be a really dominant edge rusher in the National Football League. You put him on a team with Jesse Minter as the head coach, I think that unlocks a whole other level in him. Okay, so I would make that trade, fourth-round pick, Kayvon Thibodeaux, any day of the week. Should the Ravens trade for Thibodeaux? I want to know. Let me know down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Let me know how you feel, Ravens fans. That's going to do it for today's show. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. Brand new episode. We'll be here all weekend as well. And reminder, we will be live right here on the Ravens Rundown for free agency starting next Monday. So make sure you subscribe. It is imperative That way you don't miss a moment of what is going to be one of the most exciting times, hopefully for the Ravens, as Eric DeCosta, Jesse Minter, this entire new regime brings some new players into Baltimore to help get started.